Swaminiji, Sanskritam notes potential mode.
Yes. I look forward to opening it. Right now, I'm trying to stream on YouTube.
Ah. Swaminiji, Sanskritam notes potential mode.
Yes. I look forward to opening it. Right now, I'm trying to stream on YouTube. Do you want to put up the Prarthana mantras?
It's up, Swaminiji.
Yeah, please take it from here.
Okay. So, Om Shuklam Baradharam, whoever would like to do, please do. Please pay attention to the Mahaprana, Dha, Bha, and to Dirgha, Hrasva, short and long. So please go ahead. Shuklam Baradharam.
Om, can I sing?
Yeah.
Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye.
Saraswati Namastubhyam. Please feel. Yeah.
Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
Saraswati short because it is Sambodhanam. Saraswati Namastubhyam and Varade Kamarupini again short. Okay. The next one. Enakshara Samamnayam.
Enakshara Samamnayam Adhigamya Maheshwarat Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam Tasmai Paninaye Namaha.
Samichinam. And Sahana Vavatu with the Om.
Shall I do it? Om Sahana.
Vasanti ji, please start again because once you start, there is a small interruption. So please start again.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Samichinam. And those of you who volunteered to say the Prarthana mantra, thank you for showcasing the pronunciation. And for all of us who are listening, it also allows us to not only say along with the person who is saying it, but also to hear and see. If we see the Mahaprana, are we hearing the Mahaprana? If we see a Dirgha, long, are we hearing the long? So in any recitation, it is there are two sides to the coin. I should be able to say clearly, and I should also be able to hear the sounds. So when there is a singer and a listener, the singer could be singing in tune and the listener could have no clue as to what is being sung. Or the listener could have the knowledge of the musical notes and the singer is totally off. And of course, the singer is singing beautifully and the listener is able to appreciate the music. And we want to be in the state of being able to sing beautifully as well as listen to the music that is being sung beautifully. That is where we are. That is our objective with any language for that matter. Okay, so today we are going to start on a new lakara. Last week or sometime earlier, we had seen this lakara business and we saw that the lakara is just a name for something that all started in la. For example, if maybe it is going on YouTube, I will also try to record locally. Or I will add record to the, I'll record on this computer and we will see. So the lakaraha. So I was going to say, if I were to say vakaraha, then we will have Vidya, Varalakshmihi, Vasanti, Varunaha, and maybe there are a few more who have whose names start in Va. And if I say Pakaraha, it would be Pushpa, not Prema, Pravinaha. So these are all the names that would come under the Pakaraha. So we saw Lakaraha was just names, collection of names that started in La, and it was just a way in which they decided to, they needed 10 different names instead of going Rama, Krishna, Govinda, Rameshaha, Sureshaha, Ganeshaha. They just went into Lat, Lit, Lut, Rit, Late, Lot, Lung, Ling, Lung, Ring. If you remember it in that order, you will always get the 10 names of the lakaras, and then the late got pushed out and we got Ling cloned into two. One is Vidhiling and the other is Ashirling. Vidhiling is, Vidhi is either rule, a niyamaha. It can be an order, it can be a, if I say vrishtihi bhavet, then it means it might rain. On the other hand, when we say ma kashchit dukkha bhag bhavet, so when we say ma bhavet, there we are saying it is possible that, maybe people not suffer dukkham. There we are saying may nobody suffer. So that same bhavet can be used either as a possibility, sambhavanarthe ling lakaraha. Sambhavana is possibility. So it can either be in the sense of possibility or it can be in the sense of vidhi, niyamaha, rule that needs to be followed. So when we say you are driving on the street, on the road, and there is a red light, what is the niyamaha? The niyamaha there is, if you say chalati, the form there would be ma chalet. Ma chalet means there it's not, it's possible, you could go or you could not go. There it is not sambhavanarthe ling lakaraha. There we have to understand it to be vidyarthe. You should not go. It is the same form, but in that case, it is to be taken as should not go and not could go, or you may not go. Sadhu, this was a cause for confusion for me for a long time, because in the Panini Sutras, or in many other places, but that is where my sunrise started happening. There are places where it would say syat, possibility. So the moment you tell me syat, I only thought of it as a possibility. And I always wondered, okay, you're only telling me it is possible. I'm choosing not to do it. Why do you then, penalize me for not following the rule? It took me a long time to understand that in the niyama, in sutrams, they are not saying syat for possibility. There, it is said for a rule. Sadhu. So it is the same form, but depending on the context, we have to understand it to be either a must or a may. Sadhu. Okay, so that is what we are going to do right now. And Swamini ji has provided a handout. I'm going to open that handout. I'm also going to open out. I made an addition to it because in some texts, when the order of the Kriya Padam, when the order of the verbs is in first person, second person, third person, which is from the English grammar or Western grammar point of view, it is a little, we have to keep doing some processing mentally, because in Sanskritam, the pratyayas, the reason for having third person, second person, first person is because the thing pratyayas that we use to do patati, patataha, patanti, that sequence of pratyayas as they appear in the Panini Sutrams, it is in the sequence of third person, second person, and first person. And that is the pramanam. That is the authority by which we say that in Sanskritam we have to go in the order of third person, second person, and first person, not because of somebody's whim or fancy. Okay, so let me open up the documents. First, I'll open up the document that Swamini ji has shared. So this is the potential mood. It's not a case. It's not a tense. It's not present tense, past tense, future tense. There are only 3 tenses. Of course, the past is in 3, the future is in 2, and the present is in 1. But there are only 3 tenses. The remaining are moods. And I think we saw last week or the week before, imperative, karotu. There again, it was please do, request, or it was an order, do or please do. Pathatu or sarve bhavantu sukhinah. There, instead of saying, there it was not a request. It was not addressing each of you and saying request to everybody, all of you be well. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. It was our prayer to Bhagavan that all should be well. So that was the mood that we had done last week. And today, the mood is potential. And so I think that potential is that sambhavana. Sambhavana is possibility. But it is also called, it is also used in the sense of vidhi, which I think is the operative. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word, but I think it is to do with operational. So the this is the new mood that we are. This is called ling, vidhi ling lakaraha, and as you can tell, it is not ling. There is no G there. It is only the fifth of the first row. Ka, kha, ga, ga, nga. So it's only the nga, ling lakaraha. Okay. So Ramaha vanam gachet. It can be either said in the sense of when Dasharatha gave the instruction to Rama to go to the forest, or when Kaikeyi made a request of Dasharatha that Rama should go to the forest, she did not say it in the sense of, he could go to the forest or not, it doesn't matter. She did not say it in the Sambhavanarthe. She said it in Vidyarthe. She said it as Rama should go to the forest. In Ramayanam. Here, we want somebody to go hiking. It could be Rama might go to the forest. So it is the same sentence. Ramaha vanam gachet. Rama may go to the forest and Rama should go to the forest. Both of them come from that same sentence. Ramaha vanam gachet. Okay. Then somebody is thinking, since we just had the discussion of the Devaha and the mankind and humanity coexisting, mankind and nature coexisting for the welfare of the world. If mankind chooses to misbehave, then Agni Devata can say, I am going to burn this forest down. Aham idam vanam sarvam daheyam. And there it is again, it can either be I will or I may. Sadhu, I will as in it needs to be done by me. It needs to be done, or I may do it. Tvam idam khadehe. Again, it can either be you should eat, or it is there. If you want, you can eat it. It could be either way. The tone, the sentence is the same, but the tone could be either. Okay, so as you know, we will be doing the Parasmaipadi equivalent and the Atmanepadi equivalent. And what we have first is the Parasmaipadi endings. So it is eat, eatam, iyuhu. But we'll come back and see that after we have seen the actual format modifications. So nayet, nayetam, nayet, nayetam, nayeyuhu, nayehe, nayetam, nayeta, nayeyam, nayeva, nayema. So the nayati is to lead. So we say neta rashtram nayet. So when I say neta rashtram nayet, I'm decreeing that the leader or our expectation of our leaders, that the leader may lead the country. Our expectation is that he would lead the country. It is not that we are giving him permission to lead the country. Our expectation is that he would lead the country, and it's not saying, well, he can either lead the country or not. So it is only our intention in when we make a sentence, whether we want to use it in the potential or in the operative. If I pronounce that incorrectly, you may correct me. Okay. So, nayet, neta rashtram nayet. May the leader lead the country. And then netarau. Netarau is the dvivachanam. So, netarau rashtram nayetam. May the two leaders lead the country. So, if I use nayet, let us think of it as the president. If I use the nayetam, we may think of it as the president and the vice president. And netarah, neta, netarau, netarah. Netarah rashtram nayeyuhu. May the leaders lead the nation. Then I'm looking at right now in my windows available here, there are 4 names. So I'm just going to address those 4 names. Chris G is the one on top. So I'm going to say, Tvam Rashtram Nayehe. Or today, Swamini ji told me, Tvam Vargam Nayehe. She said, you lead the class. She did not say you may lead the class or you may not. She said, you lead the class. Well, she didn't say it as in a rude way, but it is a niyamaha. We don't have to think that the niyamaha is a rule, because by the Indian tradition, even if the elders say, I want water, even if they make it as a request, the younger person would take it as an agnya, would take it as a command and execute it. So the use of the words command and dasaha should be taken with in reference to that context and not the context of today. Okay. So, tvam vargam nayehe. You may lead the class. Then the abhyasaha, right? I might say, hey Harinder ji, hey Chris ji, abhyasam nayetam. Yuvam abhyasam nayetam. May the two of you lead the practice. And then I'm going to address Chris G, Michelle G, Kate G, and Harinder Ji and say, Yam abhyasam nayeta. The 4 of you may please lead the practice. Sadhu, sadhu. So, tvam, yuvam, yam. You 1 person, you 2 people, all of you. Then, when Swamini Ji told me, tvam vargam nayehe, what would my response to her have been? It would be aham nayeyam. Aham nayeyam. Again, it can be in the sense of I will lead the class. It can also be in the sense of I might. But if I have to say it with commitment. So aham nayeyam. I will lead the class. Avam nayeva. And vayam abhyasam nayema. We will all do the abhyasaha. Sadhu, you may please interrupt if you have any questions.
One small question. What's the basic difference between?
Yes? We didn't hear you after the question.
What is the difference between this and the imperfect mood? That is, there also we are giving the
imperative mood.
Sorry, imperative mood.
Right.
There also
I will come to that after we look at all the forms. And when I can stop sharing the screen and when I can look at all of you, I will discuss the difference, the possible differences between the lot lakaraha, which is the imperative mood, and the potential mood. That's a good question. It's a valid question. Any other prashna?
Vidyaji, can we use nayayam without aham? Just
Yes, you
nayayam.
can. Because when you use the Madhyama Purusha and the Uttama Purusha forms, the Sarvanama Shabda, the pronoun there is assumed, whether you say it or not. I just have the habit of making sure that I use the, probably I'm a person who wears a belt and suspenders. So I prefer to use aham nayayam. We don't have to use aham. Astu. Okay, then this is for the process of making the modification. I think that it is, we've done this for the present tense, we've done it for the imperative, we've done it for the past tense. So it is simple enough, and I think that it can be followed. So I'm going to skip this. Oh, I didn't modify this in the third person, second person, first person sequence. Can I have volunteers to read third person for the dhav dhatu? So for the dhav dhatu, sorry to be hopping around, it's just running. So for the dhav dhatu, run. Can I have a volunteer to read the third person, please?
Vidyaji, I will do it.
Yes.
Dhavet, dhavetam, dhaveyuhu.
Then for Madhyama Purusha, second person, anybody?
Dhavehe, dhavetam, dhavet.
Is there a hal underneath the ta?
Or dhaveta. Sorry.
Repeat, please.
Okay. Dhavehe, dhaveta, dhavetam, dhaveta.
Samichinam. Anybody for the Uttama Purusha, first person?
Dhaveyam, dhaveva, dhavema.
Okay. Somebody who said you would read, can you do the Siddhyet? This is the, so the Dhav Dhatuhu was from the first conjugation. First, in Sanskritam, the word for the conjugation is the process of making changes. In Sanskritam, we refer to that as Ganaha. Ganaha is a group. So we say, in English, we say there are 10 conjugations. In Sanskritam, we say that there are 10 Ganaha, 10 Ganaha, Dasha Ganaha. Ganaha means group. We say that there are 10 groups. So the Dhav Dhatuhu belongs to the first Ganaha. And the Ganaha is generally identified by the first Dhatuhu in that Ganaha. So the first Ganaha, the first conjugation is led by the Bhu Dhatuhu. So it is called Bhvadi Ganaha. So what we just did was for the first Ganaha. The next one is for the fourth Ganaha. So somebody was volunteered and then didn't get, yes, Harinderji.
Siddhyet, Siddhyetam, Siddhyeyuhu.
Siddhyeyuhu, Samichinam. Somebody, next person for the Madhyama Purusha, second person.
Siddhyeha, Siddhyetam, Siddhyeta.
So that visargaha, when it comes after the A sound, it also gets pronounced as an A. Siddhehe. So the visargaha is not a standalone ha pronunciation. The visargaha is an expelling of breath on an already open mouth. And when you said siddhe or dhave, A, your mouth is in the shape of the A. So the breath that comes out will also be in the shape of that A. So dhavehe, siddhehe. Sadhu. Okay. Then for first person, for uttama purushaha,
I will do that. Siddhye Yamaha. Siddhye Yama.
No. Ekakshanam. You please read patiently and carefully. Go ahead.
Siddhye Yama.
There is a hal there. So siddhyeyam.
Oh, Siddhyeyam. Siddhyeva. Siddhyema.
Samichinam. Okay. Then we are now going to the 6th class. Lik. Pardon me. Oh, it is straddling the page. Okay. So we have the lik dhatuhu. Somebody for the 3rd prathama purushaha, please.
Yeah, I can do. Likhe, likhetam, likheyuhu.
Madhyama purushaha. Anybody?
Likhe, likhetam, likheta.
Is there a mahaprana in the tha?
No.
So could you do that again?
Likheta.
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 Chris G, uttama purushaha.
Likheyam, likheva, likhema.
The mahaprana is still to be pronounced only as one unit. It is not to be pronounced as a samyukta aksharam. It's not to be pronounced as k. So it is just k, k, k. It takes the same amount of space in existence. It is just that it has more breath. So we have to develop the ability to expel breath and vocalize at the same time. Kha. Very nice. So now the 10th ganaha, which is puj dhatuhu, somebody for the prathama purushaha, first person, 3rd person.
Pujayet, pujayetam, pujayeyuhu.
Samichinam. Madhyama purushaha.
Pujayaha, pujayet.
Ekakshanam. Please read again.
Pujayaha, pujayehe, pujayetam, pujayeta.
For uttama purushaha.
Pujayeyam, pujayeva, pujayema.
Bahu samichinam. All right. So now we'll move on to see how the Atmanepadi format is. And now I'm going to switch the, what is this? The PDF. And I'm going to show you the other one where I have redone the. All right. So here is the Atmanepadi pratyayas. So this is in the 3rd person, 2nd person, 1st person. Prathama purushaha, madhyama purushaha, and the uttama purushaha sequence. Okay, so this is the pratyayas are ita, iyatam, iran. So we will come back and we have to go back and look at the pratyayas for the parasmaipadi also. but we can see it how it is implemented. So for the bhash dhatuhu, it is bhasheta, meaning acharyah bhasheta. When I say acharyah bhasheta, we are making an announcement. We are hoping that the acharya would come out and speak. Maybe the acharya is having some, in these COVID times, we don't know if that acharya is going to be able to come in person. But if the acharya comes in person, we are saying that acharya bhasheta. So there it is a sense of possibility. The acharya might give a talk, bhasheta. Acharyau bhasheyatam. The two acharyas may give a talk. Acharyaha bhasheran. The acharyas may give a talk. Tvam bhashethaha. You may give a talk. It is either, you can imagine whichever way. It can either be there is a convocation and there is a possibility that a window will open for you to give a talk. So be prepared. So if you want to make such a statement, you will say Tvam bhashethaha, or you are giving instruction and saying you have to provide, you have to give a talk, Tvam bhashethaha. It is the same form. Then yuvam bhasheyatham and yuyam bhashedvam. Aham bhasheya. Avam bhashe vahi. Vayam bhashe mahi. Sadhu? Okay. So now that is just the general manifestation of the Atmanepadi pratyayas. Now we'll go class by class, gana by gana. So for the first gana, those of you, so here it is already in Prathama, Madhyama and Uttama Purusha sequence. So you just have to read directly. So those of you who have among Yushmasu, right? Yushmasu is the Madhyama Purusha Bahuvachanam. Among all of you. Yushmasu. Yaha na Uktavantaha. We've not done the Ktavatu Pratyayah. Among you, those of you who have not said anything, please get started. Sevate. Seveta.
Seveta, seveyatam, severan.
Madhyama Purushaha.
Sevetaha. Sevetam.
Seve, there's one other syllable.
Seveyatam. Seve.
Dvam.
Tram.
Seve dvam.
Dvam. Sorry. Seve dvam.
Can you do the three again, please?
Sevetaha. Seveyatam. Seve dvam.
Seve dvam.
Dvam. Seve dvam.
Uttama Purushaha.
Seveya, seve vahi, seve mahi.
Very nice. And then sevate is to serve. Seveta is he might serve or he should serve. Manyeta, fourth ganaha.
मन्येत मन्ये यातां मन्येरन्
मध्यम पुरुषः
मन्येथाः मन्येयाथां मन्येध्वम्
उत्तम पुरुषः
मन्येय मन्येवहि मन्येमहि.
Samichinam. Now for the sixth Ganaha, and even if you're not saying it on the open microphone, all of you, please make sure that you are saying it on the muted phone, and that way you can also make sure that you are able to do it smoothly. For the Prathama Purushaha, third person. Did all of you get a turn? If you did, then you may repeat. Anybody who would like to go, please.
Mucche. Oh, sorry.
Mucchet.
Muncheta.
Munchet. Muncheyatam. Muncheran.
Madhyama Purushaha.
May I?
Sure.
Okay. Munchetaha.
Mahaprana.
Munchetaha.
Munchetaha. So if you...
Munchetaha. Okay. Yeah. Munchetaha. Muncheyata. Muncheyatam.
Muncheyatam.
Muncheyatam. Munchedvam. Dvam.
Dvam. The
Dvam.
Yes.
Yeah, dvam.
You
okay,
can visualize.
Thank you, so important for me.
No, nothing is difficult, right? We are learning Sanskritam, and in Sanskritam, everything is, there is only one way in which a particular sound can be pronounced. So that is, we just have to practice. That is all. So when you do Mahaprana and Alpaprana, you keep some, the way things work for me, I need a crutch to hold on to. So the script for me is a crutch, or the breath, feeling the breath on my palm, physically putting my palm to my mouth, that is one crutch. Or I have a visualization where I will go horizontally if it is long, and I will do a sheer drop if it is a short. Some visualization that you are able to have, which will allow you to ensure that your pronunciation is correct. Uttama Purushaha, anybody?
Muncheya, Munche Vahi, Munche Mahi.
Then for the Dashama Ganaha, the 10th Ganaha, Prathama Purushaha.
Pujayeyatam.
Let me see. Pujayeta. Pujayeyatam.
Pujayeyatam. Pujayeran.
Madhyama Purushaha.
Pujayetaha.
No. Please say that again.
Pujayetaha.
No.
Pujayetaha.
Deepha. Long.
Pujayetaha. Pujayeyatam. Pujayedvamaha.
Pujayedvam.
Pujayedvam. Okay.
Uttama Purushaha. It's okay if all of you do it also.
Pujayeya. Pujayevahi.
Pujayemahi.
Bahu Samichinam. Very good. And So you must realize that even I had to do a second take, because in this pujayeta, it is already having 4 syllables. So in general, in the Atmanepadi form, you end up with more syllables than you normally would in Parasmaipadi form. So these were the modifiers. Ita, iyatam, iran. It's in the Dropbox, not in the Dropbox, it's in the chat pod. So you can have the files for reference. Now I'll go back to the document that Swamini ji had sent. And you can see how that Vikarana, how the modification happens for the so you have the this is in the proper format. So eat, eatam, iyuhu, and anytime there is a swaraha, you know that there is going to be a sandhi that happens. And even if there is a vyanjanam, even if there is a consonant, there is a possibility of sandhi, but we will see that when we encounter it. But here, certainly, when there is a swaraha involved, there will be sandhi. So it starts from the ni dhatuhu and it becomes nayet. Okay, so here for the pat, em. So this is not something that I can go over. It is just that you have to read it and you have to process that pat em. And if you have a problem with how em is becoming pateyam, just go back to the Swarasandhi rules that we have done before. And if you review the rule there, then you will understand that it has become, why it has become AM. Sadhu? So I will open up for questions. And before that, I can also address the question that had been asked earlier. So let me first address the earlier question. We had the lot lakaraha we saw last week, which was
imperative mood.
Which was imperative mood. So Ramaha pathatu. So Ramaha pathatu is let Rama read. It is either giving permission for him to read. I will repost it on the chat box, or at the end of the class, we have our Chandra would upload it to the WhatsApp group also. So there are 2 documents. One is from Swamini ji, and the other one that I have said is potential notes. So we'll make sure that if you were not able to get it here, then you will have it in the...
Can I just interrupt? Your notes, right? Only the Atmanepada are there. The Parasmaipada are not there. Yeah.
I got misled. When I first saw Swamini ji's notes, I saw 3rd case there. And so I thought all of the Parasmaipadi was done in that 3rd, 2nd, 1st sequence. So I went ahead and did only the Atmanepadi. I will actually do the Parasmaipadi also and update the notes. So thank you for letting me know, reminding me. So I will update the document and I will send it to Chandra and she will upload, or if I'm able to upload it myself, I will also do that. So yes, I will update and then upload.
I will help with that.
Sadhu. Okay. So the question had been the difference between the imperative mood and the potential mood. So this ling lakara itself exists as vidyarthe. Then we have the ashirling, we have the vidhiling. So I have a visual which I unfortunately don't have here with me, but I'm going to open a paint and I'm going to try to illustrate on that. So just to tell you how much of where the intersections might be happening. So we have the lot lakara. So if I use this as if I do it as a Venn diagram, this is the lot lakara, which is imperative. And then we just did the ling lakara. We already saw that the ling lakara has two forms. I can change the color so it is clearer. So the ling lakara has two forms. One is the vidhiling. Vidhiling is what we have just seen. This itself can happen in two forms. It can either be sambhavana, is possibility, or it can be vidhihi. So sambhavana is possibility and vidhihi is rule. So this vidhiling lakara itself has these two possibilities. And then we have the ashirling, which we have not done. Benediction. So in the benedictive format, we are blessing. Shubham bhuyat. Shubham bhuyat means may. So this one is benediction. Now, all of them can be used interchangeably in one way or the other. Imperative, when you say sarve bhavantu sukhinah, that is your lot lakara. I will just write the word and we will so we have this as bhavantu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. That is in bahuvachanam, it's in plural. Then the ling lakara form for the same is bhavet. Ma kashchit dukkha bhag bhavet. It is the same form for both the lakaras. But it is that same bhavet which can either be said in the sense of possibility or in the sense of rule. And then the...
So, Vidyaji, I'm sorry, does this just, do I get this out of the context of the sentence?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you. Thank you.
So, bhuyat is the benedictive format of that same bhu dhatuhu. So, all three of them can be used, all four of them are can be used to mean the same thing, or if you know that you are, if you see the form bhuyat, then you know it is a blessing. Then when we saw last week, Swaminiji gave us the Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. There it was, it can, there it is either. So even this imperative can be taken in two formats, right? That imperative can either be request or it can be an order. So the Satyam Vada is a statement made. Depending on our knowledge, we can come and say, no, no, no. When they say Satyam Vada, they are just saying, please, please speak the truth. They are not saying speak the truth. They are only saying please. So we don't have to obey. We can always tell a white lie. So we can use that explanation to interpret how we want to. But it says Satyam Vada. Kshamyatam, not Mahaprana. Satyam Vada. Speak the truth. Then, if we say Ramaha Satyam Vadet, the father is decreeing, or in the court, you put your hand on the Bible, on the Bhagavad Gita, on whatever else that you consider as something that you will not breach. You put your hand on it and say, and the judge says, Ramaha Satyam Vadet. There he's not saying that Rama may speak the truth. He is ordering that on the promise, putting his hand on Bhagavad Gita, he is committed to telling the truth. If he does not speak the truth, the whole world, the sky would cave in on him. So that is Ramaha Satyam Vadet. But on the other hand, the defense, the opposite party doesn't trust that this Ramaha is going to speak the truth. So he says, Ramaha Satyam Vadet. He may speak the truth. He may not. Ramaha Satyam Na Vadet. He may not speak the truth. So it is that same Vadet which can be interpreted either way. And when there is the benediction, there it would be, may he. We don't know what he is going to do, but our wish for him is that he would speak the truth. Our wish for, not that he would, our wish for him is that he speaks the truth. So these are the different moods that exist, which can be used. There is a lot of gray area between them, or instead of calling it as gray area, there is a lot of intersection between them.
So how do you say the benediction version?
I deliberately did not say it because Vadyat, Uchyat, Vadyat might be the case. I have to look up. I will see if I can look up right now and I will tell. It's probably Vadyat. Vadet is in the Ling Lakara form. Any other prashna? I'm looking up. In the meantime, any other prashna? Any other question? I can stop sharing the screen.
Vidyaji, I just want to say that it's so helpful to see the different interpretations and how the meanings and how you explain it is really helpful. How it can be either way and it depends on the context. It's just something really beautiful about that. I like it.
And that nail-biting, not nail-biting, hair-pulling discussion is what you will encounter in the Bhashyam that Swamini Ji does, that Adi Shankara has to deal with because of the possibilities. People might end up in why go to Adi Shankara? Even we interpret law, and that is the reason why we have the court system, and we interpret it the way it either the way it is convenient to us or the way it appears or appeals to us. Okay, I found the Vadadhatuhu. I will give it to you in a second. Any other prashna? Any other question? Okay, I'm sorry if I am not encouraging participation. My intention was not to freeze you all into not vocalizing.
Vidyaji, this is just the opposite. We are also impressed and
Yeah.
amazed by your teachings.
Right,
So,
Yes.
yeah.
No.
So this is why, you know, we no words for this. This is amazing.
Okay.
We're satisfied.
Thank you for
We're full, like we ate a
Yes,
good
yes, that is the excuse that we use. I have used that before. Okay, I will send that the form on the chat. My app has stopped, so I will look up the form for Vadadhatuhu. Give me a second. I have a book. I will look it up. Give me a second. Okay, so in the meantime, would anybody, Harinder ji, could you do the Shanti Mantra?
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bahu Samichinam. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Anybody or all?
Sarve
Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve
Santu
Niramaya.
Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma
Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave.
Tato Ma
Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya
Mrityorma
Amritangamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, good timing. I located the page and the format. So for the Ashirling, it is Udyat. Vadati, and in the Lot Lakaraha, it is Vadatu. In Vidhiling Lakaraha, it is Vadet, and in Ashirling, it is Udyat. And that was the reason why I didn't volunteer to say it, use it right away. But there is also there are multiple dhatus which are used interchangeably for the vad. In certain lakaras, certain forms are used, and in other lakaras, another dhatu's forms are used, and they are interchangeably used. So you will find, just like in some cases, bhavati and as dhatuhu, they merge. So like that, even for the vad dhatuhu, there are a few other forms that get used interchangeably. And there was reason why I did not use the Ashirling form of it, Udyat. And if we don't pronounce that Udyat properly, it would end up meaning the rising sun. Udyat. If we didn't do the long, Udyat means benediction. May he say. But instead of the A, if we said the A, it will become Udyat. Udyat Bhanu Sahasra Koti Sadrisha. Udyat Bhanuhu is the rising sun. That is why that Ucharanam, that pronunciation is very important. All right. Namaste. I hope that the
Namaste.
class is recorded. I have it, I think, on local recording, and we will see. All right. We will meet next week. Homework. I didn't give any homework, but I will make sure that you get the homework by tomorrow, if it is not otherwise conveyed. All right. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Vidyaji.
Namaste.
Thank you, Vidyaji.
Thank you, Vidyaji.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.